So welcome back guys, this is the Ninja Movies back again with an all new comic video, and today is going to be a little bit different to my regular comic updates. Pretty much my mum messaged me. She's aware that I've been collecting comics as of recently, and she's like, you know what, I've finally started cleaning the attic. I found a bunch of old comic books. Would you like to look through them? And look through them I did. She had about 2 massive boxes of just nothing but comics from everywhere from the 60s all the way up, and it was a trip to look through. It was so exciting, but the conditions on a lot of them, you know, they were read by kids, you know, through the generations, you know, prior to me. A lot of them are in tarnished condition, you know, without covers, without anything. I went through, found what I at least found interesting or in good enough condition to own, as she was just going to throw them out anyway. I thought I'd share them all with you. These are some retro comics, all in very, I would say, fair condition at best, but some different comics that I would never be able to show you guys if it wasn't for this opportunity. So if you guys have been collecting comics for a long time, if any of these are anything notable, let me know. I'm not looking to make any money. I thought it was just a cool trip down memory lane. And let's just start. I've sort of categorized them the best I can. I did also want to mention with a lot of these older comics, the whole thing is paper. So, you know, fading, just creases all over them. No wonder it was so hard to get a good condition comic back in the day. They don't have the gloss front covers that sort of save a lot of the pages. But the first one up, we have World's Greatest Crime Buster, The Shadow. Looks very reminiscent of like a Phantom comic, so I'm not too sure. A lot of these comics are in black and white, and once again, the condition on them, I feel as if I simply sneeze on one of these just from the amount of dust sitting on them that they'd crumbled themselves. So I'm just happy to find the ones that I did with covers and in good condition. The Shadow. Then we have a couple Phantom comics here. We have issue number 561. Just classic, you know, black and white Phantom. In one of my previous updates, I'm going to go my second comic update I did. I picked up a couple of Phantom issues, so having some of the retros, I have no complaints. I know that some of the old issues can go for quite a lot. I think I looked this one up. It's sitting at around $30, which is pretty, you know, that's decent for something that you're just finding in the roof space. So we have the Phantom issue 561. And then we have issue number 576, and this is the Phantom. Obviously you can see some drawing on there, probably me back in the day as a kid, not knowing that I would ever get into comic collecting. Oh, Dad's old comics, let's just, you know, have a draw on them. But the Phantom, number 576. Now this one up, the next one up, sorry, is, I believe this is a DC comic series, but I can't see the logo on it here. We have number 39 of Weird Mystery Tales, a thicker comic book, and just one that I was intrigued by the front. Looks like Ghost Rider's going into the boxing gym. I know it's not Ghost Rider, but that's just what it looks like. I'm intrigued to read this one, and a lot of the old comics, they had a lot more wording in them. Maybe it's because the colors aren't vibrant, so it's not as distracting, the artwork, but it does look like they fill a lot more in the pages with actual reading material. So we have Weird Mysteries. Then we have a DC comic here. This one looks gnarly, dude. We have GI Combat. Unsure, maybe they couldn't get an exact sort of deal going with GI Joes back in the day, but it is by DC Comics. This one is in color and actually features Superman in the comic series, so that's kind of interesting. Has anyone read this? Is this a series that is still ongoing to this day? It's in fair condition. It has its cover. I'm happy with it. GI Combat. The next one up, we have another war comic. This is Our Army at War, featuring Sergeant Rock. Another DC comic series. Been picking up a few war comics myself, as you saw in the previous update, which if you haven't watched, definitely check that out after this video. But another one, full in color. It's just gnarly seeing all the old advertisements from, you know, whenever the era of this comic was. Once again, a lot of these comics are ranging from late 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, things like that. 90s would be a stretch. I'm putting it about the 60s, 70s margin. So we have once again, I forgot the name, Our Army at War, Sergeant Rock, DC. These ones, there's 2 issues of this, and I thought this was pretty gnarly. We have Marvel Comics of Tarzan. So we have this issue here, which is, if I can see, says it goes for 35 cents. I'm not seeing an issue number here, but I do appreciate the approved by the comics code right up in the corner. I'm not sure if they still do that, but I did watch the Stan Lee documentary on Disney, and he was talking about that mark. Pretty much something they made up to put on all the comics. And then we have Tarzan, Lord of the Jungle. Some beautiful artwork on these. Looks like it's called Street Ball on the back, but this looks like White Man Can't Jump in a comic form. A couple of old Tarzan comics there. Moving on, we have, so pretty much the way that I've categorized it, there are superhero comics in this, because I'm sure that's what a lot of people would want to see for these retro comics, but I'm just going through the sort of more niche comics first. So we have Reggie and Me. Whoever's collection this was in the past, you know, cousins, family members, what have you, they were a big fan of Archie comics. There was plenty of them. So we have Reggie and Me in a decent condition. We have Archie's girls, Betty and Veronica, which anytime I see an Archie comic, I'm just immediately thinking of Chasing Amy, and, you know, the defense of Archie's all about pussy. And then they're talking about how Archie's clearly gay, and that's why he never went for either one. And they have the debate about Archie. That's all I can ever think about it. But Betty and Veronica. We have Little Archies, so the classic. I feel like back in the day, this was a big trend where they would just make something like a smaller version, like the Muppets Baby Show, and then that, or the Looney Tunes Kids and stuff. They love doing that, where they just have an established brand. Let's make them smaller and get a couple more years out of it. Little Archie. This one's pretty cool. We have Casper's Ghost Land and All His Friends. This one's in better condition. They did have a lot of issues of Hot Stuff and different Casper comics, but this was the best condition one, so this is the one I went with. This one I'm a big fan of. This is straight up, I believe I looked this up, and it was from the 70s itself, which makes it even cooler. We have Scooby-Doo, Where Are You, #2, a Hanna-Barbera comic, all in color. Big fan of Scooby-Doo, always have been, and to see that this was one of the ones in good condition, I'm definitely going to give this a read and see who the mystery was in this, because the cover of this looks very kid-friendly, doesn't show any sort of mystery, perhaps pirates, I don't know, but Scooby-Doo #2, with also an advertisement for the Flintstones comic on the back, so that's kind of hard. We have Hanna-Barbera's Hong Kong Phooey. Not a show that I'm particularly, you know, well versed in. I did watch a lot of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons, but more or less the Jetsons, Flintstones, and Wacky Races were pretty much my go-tos, but Hong Kong Phooey. And that is issue #5. Then we have a couple issues of Top Cat. Once again, Hanna-Barbera. I know little about Top Cat, nothing about it, but these were in better condition than most. We have #11 of Top Cat. Very colourful looking cover. We have issue #13 and actually issue #12. So we have 11, 12 and 13. That's kind of cool to have some consistency here. Top Cat, once again, more advertisements for the Flintstones. Just cool to have. I'll check them out one day. Now these, the Disney comics, I've never been versed in Disney comics, but if I go to a lot of thrift shops and a lot of old school kind of shops that sell older comics, there's a heap of Disney ones. There's clearly a collection fan base out there, so if you are one of those people, let me know what you think of these comics down below. We have Daisy and Donald. I'm presuming these are just regular stories and they're not like a continuous set, because I don't think any of these have issue numbers. So there's Daisy and Donald. We have Uncle Scrooge, smoking that money. We have Huey, Dewey and Louie, Junior Woodchucks, which I am a big fan of the Huey, Dewey and Louie stories in the Christmas tales they did. Mickey's Christmas Carol, I watch it every year at Christmas, and that's about as versed as I am with those characters and Uncle Scrooge. We have the Beagle Boys versus Uncle Scrooge. I did see a couple of comics in there with the Beagle Boys. I have no idea who these characters are. Let me know down below. But there's that. This one I thought was really cool because growing up at my grandma's place, we had a limited selection of videotapes, and one of my favorite movies to watch as a kid was The Aristocats by Walt Disney, and this is actually O'Malley and the Alley Cats. They got their own comic. That's just something you would not see anymore, and that's why it's a cool little retro piece to have. O'Malley, I love that name too. We have Walt Disney's comics, number 349, so this one is numbered. We have Uncle Scrooge. Once again, no number. It's spooky, it's kooky, it's Scrooge and the Beagles, back with the Beagle Boys. This one looks like a little Halloween special. Obviously, like you can tell some of these are like in just poor condition, but I'd be a fool not to just take them, because when am I going to have an opportunity to get these for free again, or even see them again, honestly? That's the whole reason that these are so rare, is because people just threw them out or read them and didn't realize that it was ever going to be a thing, that collecting comics is still in the age that we live in now. This one's a real thick boy. This is called the 192 page annual of Donald Duck. This one's in much better condition. I think it helps because this one is with finally a glossier, sort of thicker piece of paper rather than what the comic's actually made out of. Beautiful condition on the inside. It's just obviously the outside's been a bit weathered, but it's been a book that has been loved and read, so that's kind of cool. And the last one up of the Disney comics, we have, I believe, issue 600 of Uncle Scrooge. I'm just going off the number up in the corner here. I may be wrong. Was there 600 issues of Uncle Scrooge? I got no idea, but here it is, bro. Looking nice. And with all the sort of kooky, sort of odd comics out the way, let's get into some of the old school superhero stuff. Now, this one was the first one I saw. This one looks amazing. We have Marvel Comics presenting Spidey Super Stories, Spider-Woman, and Spidey Battle Doc Ock. I'm just excited to have an old school, I believe I looked this up, 1978 Spider-Man comic featuring an iconic villain, such as Doc Ock. I did flick through this and I thought it was extremely funny to see Doc Ock playing tennis at some stage with all these rackets. Like, come on guys, this is what it's all about. Then we have a DC Superpowers issue, 32 pages. It's got the Joker on the front, and it's also got the Penguin. This one's in pretty damn good condition. I'm a big fan of this. Seeing on the back, we have Stars and Rockers advertising, and you can see Michael Jackson and everything on this. That's how old school you know this is. All the inserts, all the old school ads sort of like make the appeal of it as well. I feel like it's always that classic one of getting the X-ray goggles, you know, for 50 cents or 25 cents. I don't know. This one we have is a colossal 164 page, it's just called Colossal Comics. We've got Superman on the front, and we've got free 5 stamp collections on the back. So this one's all in black and white, unfortunately, but once again, the pages on the inside are in great condition. I'm seeing a Batman comic on the inside here, so it's looking like it's not just Superman, so that's pretty damn cool. This one is up there with the Spider-Man comic I just showed as one of the highlights. I can't believe it, man. Seeing this Howard the Duck comic is gnarly as. This looks beautiful, bro. I have never seen the Howard the Duck movie, and I probably don't need to, but the actual old school comics, if I can hold it up for you, something about it is so appealing. Seeing an old school ad for Fantastic Four on the back is hard as hell. Big fan. Moving on, we have DC's Weird War Tales. We got some more war comics. This one looks gnarly. Just seeing anything by DC and Marvel in the lot in any sort of good condition, I had to pick up. So the Weird War Tales. Has anyone read this series or was a fan of it back in the day? This one I think looks beautiful. It is a Marvel comic. This one is in battered condition, but we have the Weird Wonder Tales by Marvel Comics. Do Marvel still make comic series like this? Like this looks gnarly as, like the Grim Reaper on the front. some Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type vibe. It's all in colour. I'd just be interested to see, you know, a mystery type tale or a horror type tale by Marvel. This next one up, I'm so intrigued by. We have The Hands of Shang-Chi, Master of Kung Fu. But we have obviously Doctor Doom on the front cover. Doom came. Doom came. So yeah, just look at these pages of just nothing but ads, bro. I don't know. Maybe people aren't interested in it, but I am. This thing is so goddamn cool to me. We are nearly at the end, guys. Only 2 more, but we have a Black Panther comic, OG. I just thought this was gnarly. I was not expecting to see Black Panther in there. I don't know why. It was a one-off comic and it was in decent condition. 6th of November it came out. I'm not seeing an issue number, but I don't own any Black Panther comics, and I'm so happy that this is my first one. Is it recognizable to anyone? Let me know. And the final one, this is actually a comic album. I'm not sure if it does appear to have actual comic panels in it, but there's coloring book-esque pages in it. And actually my father, for whatever age he may have been, had drawn in the back of this, and I just think this is worth it owning just for this. This is just funny as fuck, honestly. But I've been reading the Fantastic Four comics, as I commented on in my last update, so this is really cool to own. The front cover on this thing is beautiful. It's actually in good condition, and surprisingly enough, he didn't color in any of the supposed coloring in pages. Just felt like drawing a couple characters on the back, you know, feeling himself. But with that said, guys, that's an unexpected comic update. I know it's a little different. It might not excite people as much as it did me, but you know, some of these comics I'll just never see again, and you know, it's such an opportunity to present itself. I was happy to take it, and you know, one man's trash is another man's treasure. It got me a video out of it, so leave it a like, add it to your favorites, subscribe, and check out the other comic updates if you're interested. Check out some of the most recent movie reviews I've been putting out, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Catch ya.